What's going on, YouTube? Sean here with my friend Jordan. We just got out of seeing Rambo: The Last Blood, and
it's glorious.
It's exactly what I paid for. It's Rambo doing his shit. I went and I rewatched all the Rambo movies that you've seen on my channel this past week. Stallone just doing his shit. It's a Rambo movie. Come on, like, you want to see Rambo go in there and kill a bunch of bad guys in such horrific, graphic ways? Yeah. You definitely get in this one. I mean, holy shit, he rips a man's collarbone out. He legitimately, I guess, we'll keep it spoiler free for a second, but like some of the deaths that he gets to, like,
the last death is pretty excellent.
The last death in particular is, I'm like, the whole theater's like, oh my god,
it's very violent.
It is very violent. I feel like we're watching like a slasher movie. It is a full blown slasher movie at this point. At the end of the film, it's you can't tell me it's not. I mean, it's nowhere near as violent as Rambo 4 was. I mean, because that one is just more of like an action. This one's more of like a. It's kind of a slow burn drama for a lot of it. Taken, yeah. It's definitely Taken-esque, but definitely more violent because, you know, Taken's definitely PG-13. I mean, it doesn't quite have that that Liam Neeson speech in it that we had in this one. In terms of Rambo movies, like Rambo this time around, it's been 10 years since the last one. He lives on his farm because at the end of Rambo 4, he goes to the farm and then he basically kind of formed a family. Like, he's got his own niece named Gabriella, and he's living with her aunt, I guess. It's like a niece. She calls him like Uncle Johnny. Basically kind of raised her from age 10 like onward. So, you know, it's family. Like, there's a more close personal connection to Rambo this time around. At least the closest thing he's had since Trotman in 3. And basically she goes to Mexico to go confront her father because her father had abandoned her years prior, and then she gets kidnapped into the drug cartel while she's there. Like, her friend had sold her out. And Rambo goes there, trying to save her, and, well, I guess full spoilers from this point on, but he saves her and doing some very graphic, violent things along the way, and unfortunately his daughter, or basically his daughter, or like, you know, his niece is equivalent to that, gets overdoses and died because she was, you know,
torturing her with
they basically
heroin.
tortured her with heroin and, you know, just kind of leaving her in that place. Rambo was just too late to save her because he had, like, initially gotten hurt. And the villains are just being villains. You know, I mean, the Rambo series has kind of over-the-top, hokey villains for the most part. Like, these villains are pretty over-the-top. Like, not quite the most memorable villains. Like, the villain in 4, I think, is maybe the most memorable because first movie. But in terms of, like, actually, like, killing people, like, the villain in 4 is so, like, pure evil that you just want to spit on the screen. These guys are evil, too.
I feel like these ones are fairly realistic to what a drug cartel would probably look like. Right.
This one's definitely has more of that ground. It's definitely more grounded. It's not quite as over the top, at least until towards the end. This is definitely a much more, like, tonally, it's closer to, like, Rambo 1 and, like, I guess partially Rambo 3. It's not quite as over the top until you get towards the end of the film where it gets excruciatingly violent, and it turns into an R-rated Home Alone movie because Rambo has all these tunnel systems that he's built because, you know, he's a paranoid dude. Stallone's definitely getting up there in age. He's like 72, but man, that dude is still in killer shape at his age. He gets his shit done. I guess we'll get to, like, the spoilers. So Rambo, after his, basically his daughter, you know, niece, whatever you want to call it, like, a surrogate daughter passes away. Like, it was basically, like, his last grasp of humanity, like, his last bit of hope. Like, it's basically his heart was there. Like, they ripped his heart out from him. And he goes back there, kills one of the brothers, because there's, like, 2 drug lord cartel brothers there. Kills one of them, basically leaves a message, like, you motherfuckers, like, you got my ID? Come find me. So then he goes in there, he sets up, like, his whole booby trap thing, like an R-rated Home Alone style. I was just waiting for John Williams music to play. It's like, I want somebody to, I almost want to edit that music over, like, the montage where he's putting together all his traps, and then just add in sound effects of the Wet Bandits.
I'd like to put the Rocky soundtrack over the montage. I think that'd be good.
Okay, that'd be pretty great, too. So he does all these things. The cartel basically comes to his house, and they all start... Then all his traps start going off. They all start dying in such horrific, brutal ways. And, like, we're just like, oh, my God. Like, I think one of the most brutal ones, when he initially tracks down his, you know, niece/daughter, he rips a man's collarbone out. Like, he stabs the dude, and then he, like, digs his thumb right in here and just rips it out. And I'm like, oh!
I don't think he actually kills that guy either.
I think he just kind of knocks him out and just kind of leaves him to be. I don't know. We never really see him kill that guy. But then he obviously goes after the cartel. and they come to his place. They're all getting horrifically mutilated in all sorts of ways. So if you want your violence, you're definitely going to get it. I mean, I love the fact that this came out in 2019, especially when a lot of things have gotten very soft in terms of like R ratings, and then it's like, it's too violent. Oh, boo-hoo. Like, I saw some critics complaining, like, it's too violent.
You know, it's an R movie. It should be violent.
Yeah, it's an R-rated action movie. It's Rambo doing his shtick. I don't see what the big problem is. Like, I don't get like a lot of the complaints in that regards. Like, it's like a slasher movie. It's like they're just doing violent. It's Rambo. You pay to see him just do like badass shit. You pay to see him just going in there and take out like an entire army by himself, which he basically does. I mean, he's obviously not doing like the funny, like kind of hokey ways in the that you'd see in like Rambo 2 or 3. It's more of like the down-to-earth, like really serious, really kind of gritty type feel.
It's very true to the first one with all the spike traps and various
yeah. Although way more excessive.
Yeah.
I mean, like this turns into a full like R-rated Home Alone Saw type deal with these traps that he has set up for these bad guys. And then we get down to the final guy.
Oh, that's great.
You want to describe it?
Yeah.
Like, the final guy goes in there, like, Rambo shoots his bow and arrow, pins him to the fucking barn door, and then he takes this knife that he was making for his, daughter, basically, like his niece/daughter, and then he looks him in the eyes, and he's just like, I want you to, endure what I went through, like ripping my heart out. So then Rambo decided, he stabs the knife, he cuts out the man's heart, rips it out of his chest, and crushes it with his bare hands, looking the guy in the eye as the guy dies. I'm like, oh my God.
Excellent.
It was amazing. It was so gratuitous that I loved it. I'm like, oh yeah, man, that's what's up. So I got what I paid for with this movie. I still like Rambo 4. I still like a lot of the other ones more than this one per se, but you know, because this one's definitely more of a slow burn. I kind of like some of the more over the top stuff, and none of them are going to touch like First Blood. But for what it's worth, I mean, it's Rambo. I got what I paid for. Rambo just being a badass doing his stuff. He's definitely more vulnerable since he's definitely gotten up there in age. Because like old school, you're almost kind of wishing like, you know, young Rambo would go in there and do his thing. But I mean, Stallone for his age and just doing the shit that he does, I mean, it's still impressive. And you were like, okay, come on, yeah, Rambo, get him.
Glorious, yeah. The one thing I would say, I wish there was more combat scenes throughout the movie, because kind of all of it takes place at the end, but it is a fairly short movie.
My God, this was short. Like,
yeah, it was like 80 minutes.
Yeah, it was like 80 minutes or something like that, or just over that. Like, it was a very, very short movie. I mean, like, it's not even 9 o'clock yet, and it was a 7 p.m. showing, and obviously you had like the 10-15 minutes of previews, so really it's almost 9 o'clock now, but it was a very short movie. So, but I mean, it's what I wanted it to be. What about you?
Oh no, it was excellent. It's everything I ever hoped for. Rambo movie, just gratuitous violence. Rambo killing bad people I don't like. I mean, drug cartel people. No.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, that's what Rambo does. Like you pay to see Rambo do his shtick. Rambo does his shtick. So I mean, I don't know what else. Maybe some people wanted more. I mean, yes.
It actually had drama on it too, like unlike some of the other Rambos. Like you actually kind of feel bad, like when.
Yeah, you really like that part. Like I'm like, oh yeah, they actually went like some really dark places with that too. Like because usually you typically expect, okay, he's got his daughter back. You're like, okay, she's gonna make it. He's already taken her out of there. Then she just slowly dies, like she slowly succumbs to death, like as he's driving her back. Which, by the way, how the fuck did he get her across the border?
Well, they break through the border. Remember, he drives through the fence.
Oh, I guess that was the border.
I mean, how did the cartel get across the border too? I mean, they pretty much.
Yeah, they had like their own tunnel system.
They had like an army come through there. Like I don't think you could ever get that to the border. They were clearly very well armed.
Yeah, I mean, but hey, they got what's coming to them. And Rambo at the end of it just kind of rides off into the sunset on his horse. They play clips from the other movies, and I guess if this one does well, Stallone will do some more, because Stallone will he'll never just stop making his sequels. He even said that in an interview recently. He's like, you know what? At this point, it's just never say never. Like, I'm never going to say that it's the end, because at this point, it's like, I just keep making more. So I'm like, you know what, Stallone, keep doing your shit till you're like 90s and you can't move anymore. I'm all for it.
Yeah, I mean, he still makes great movies. Creed 2, excellent films.
Creed 2 is even better than Creed 1, I thought. So, I mean, he's supposed to be doing another Rocky movie from what I hear. But it's not going to be a Creed movie. It's going to be like a whole new boxer or something.
Yeah, can't wait for this.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait to see what Rambo does next. So, that's all I got to say. I mean, we had fun. Is there anything else you want to add to it? Or
no, go see this movie. It's really good. If you're into action slashers, I would personally recommend it.
I mean, I'm so happy that this movie came out when it did, because I feel like it's been like, I mean, John Wick was its own thing. But John Wick doesn't get this excessive with its violence. I mean, it definitely gets violent too, and it's a lot of fun, and everyone's having a good time. I mean, our theater, like, there was like a little kid in the theater. I'm like, yes, those parents are the best. They brought their kid to see it.
It's a different type of violence than John Wick, because John Wick, it just feels kind of like cartoony and overblown. This is like a dark,
really gritty
violence. Like,
violent stuff.
You can feel like the hate from like Rambo towards these people.
Oh yeah, like he's just like, I'm gonna kill you. Like you can just see him groveling like the whole way through. Like he definitely is like, you can see it's just like, it's broken him like entirely. Like he's just pissed off this movie. Like, and you're like, oh, come on, Rambo, do your shit. So, and he didn't have the long hair too. That was probably the most surprising part about the movie. He had much shorter hair, but it works because he's a lot older. It totally feels very different from the other Rambos too. So,
that's all I got.
That's all I got too. Thank you so much for watching. Go check out Rambo: The Last Blood. It's a Rambo movie. It's cool to see this movie out in 2019, especially when a lot of movies have gotten kind of soft, I feel. And, yeah, if you want gratuitous violence, this is your movie. So, that's all I gotta say. Subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and, stay tuned to the channel. Got more content coming along. And, you got anything else to add?
No, great.
Great.
Subscribe to this channel.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right. Take care now. Bye-bye then, and I shall see you all next time.